All right, we're going for it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live Button Podcast with your host, Dad the Gamer and Pastorgainz. And we are currently joined by the one and only man, the myth, the legend. He does not need any introduction. Morph, you're here with us hanging out, man. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well. I am very excited. First time here, so this is gonna be pretty cool.
Dude, don't worry. You're the first of people we've ever had here. So you're like the first. So we're happy to have you, man.
The inaugural guest, you know, the one and only. Listen, for those that don't follow MoorphGames, one, you should be following him on TikTok. I have a tremendous amount of respect for this man, only because he's very, very real. He's very much his content resonated with me in terms of how the message that he delivers. Some people, may not like how we kind of deliver our messages in certain ways that we deliver it, but
it's done so gently, bro.
It's done so gently. But he's a very real person, and in the Twitch universe in general. There's so many fake people, and Morph is genuinely the one of the realest content creators, realest streamers out there. So if you guys are not following him, I mean, he's got like 24,000 TikTok followers. My man is at, I think, 2,900 followers on Twitch right now, and he's averaging like Twitch partner status numbers right now. So make sure you guys definitely go drop him a follow. So very excited for tonight's episode. We let Morph pick from a rounding different various of categories, and the category we landed on tonight is short form versus long form content, particularly in terms of what you should prioritize between the two, and then obviously what is good long form content in general. So what's your initial thoughts on that, Morph?
My initial thought is whether you focus on long form or short form content kind of it definitely depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to become a streamer, you're probably doing it on Twitch. You need to focus on short form, because short form is really when you get to that hit of discoverability to drag people over to Twitch. But if you really want to work on YouTube, you probably should focus on long form content, because YouTube is kind of a self-encapsulated discoverability engine where all of the pieces, the streaming, the long form, and the short form, work well together to drive people everywhere.
Now, I have a question about this though too, because I know there's like in our day and age of like the TikTok super short content, because like short form content right now is, we'll call it king in quotes, but short form content is king, especially on TikTok, and YouTube Shorts is really up and coming as well. They try to do it with Instagram Reels, but that place is just crashing and burning. So, my question is, what really is short form content anymore? Because like when you go to YouTube, people used to think long form content was like 10 to 15 minutes, but because everyone's attention span is getting shorter and shorter, that means that the content of long form has to change to become shorter. So I tell people typically, like, get out of your head that like long form content is 20-minute videos. I think that's a lot of the big hurdle that streamers try to figure out when they can't get into YouTube, because they think it's too long. But long form content is like 5 to 10 minutes. Like, granted, there's a paywall for a secondary ad at 8 minutes on YouTube, but I don't think that people need to get so hung up on, hey, I need to make a 15 to 20-minute video because that's the only way to be successful on YouTube. Like, and Morph, you could have some completely different opinions on that, because you've actually been good at YouTube. So
yeah, right.
If I'm wrong, just cut me out.
For those that don't know, Morph is a YouTube partner, so he's reached the status of at least knowing what he's doing with long form content. So 100%. What are your thoughts with that, Morph?
No, I do agree. I believe it is getting shorter. Like, I know myself, when I'm searching for something on YouTube, if it's a 20-minute video, I'm probably not even going to click on it, because I'm not sitting through it, even if it has chapters. But the 8 minute, I'm glad you brought that up, because the 8-minute mark is what I try to strive for, because that's when they add a second ad. And let's be honest, I'm making long form videos because I want to generate income,
Yep.
So 8 to 12 minutes is usually what I kind of shoot for. Like, I try not to go over 12 minutes, because people just don't have the patience to sit there and watch it, especially with short form content, lowering everybody's tolerance for watching videos. But yeah, I think that you want to go for that. Like, I had taken a slight break from creating new content, was just posting highlights of VODs. And when I came back, my first video was 5 minutes long. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And having done TikTok for like, pretty heavily during that hiatus from YouTube, 5 minutes felt like an eternity, but really it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think also like you then have to kind of flip it on its head and be like, okay, what is short form content then? Because there's even videos that are too long on TikTok. Like you got to get
Yep.
into really, okay, your hook has to be 3 seconds, but in those 3 seconds, you have to have really compelling reasons for people to stay. After that 3 seconds, in the next 5 seconds, you have to have something else happen in the video. It's like there's all these things to get people to stay longer and longer and longer. But really, how long is somebody going to watch a TikTok?
So here's
Like,
what's interesting is I think YouTube has, for them, they really defined what short form content is for YouTube, because for a short, you cannot post longer than 60 seconds for a short. It needs to be
That's true.
60 seconds and under. So there's a clear definition of what short form content is for YouTube versus TikTok. TikTok now, I think it's up to, if I'm not mistaken, it's 10 minutes you can upload a video. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Can be, yeah.
So up
You're
to
right.
10 minutes, which most people will look at TikTok still as short form content. I know they're trying to compete with YouTube, but really it's a short form content piece. I mean, it's people really struggle if your video is past the 90-second mark on your video. It better be really, really good. If it's more than, honestly, even 60 seconds, it better be like super engaging. If not, then you're going to lose your viewership. And we've talked about that previously, about it being pushed to the algorithm. So YouTube has made a clear line of what short form content is for them. And who knows, maybe one day they push it out. But it sucks. For me, I've posted some really good TikToks that are like a minute and 2 seconds, a minute and 3 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, I got to trim down 4 seconds in this, and it's tough because I'm already editing my videos to where it's like fast paced, good cuts, good clean cuts. And so it's hard to cut out that 4 seconds, but I'm like, I need to take out 4 seconds so I can post it on YouTube Shorts. So that way it gets pushed out on YouTube Shorts and on their short form content. Because I mean, Pastorgainz and we've been talking about YouTube Shorts. It is insane the amount of views that is potentially out there for YouTube Shorts. If you tag your video right, it's engaging content, you can really get a lot of views on YouTube Shorts in a very short period of time. And so if you're really not taking advantage of YouTube Shorts to generate your subscriber base and then obviously just brand awareness, you 100% need to.
Yeah.
Now, Morph, here's another question for you, dude, because I want to get your thoughts on this because, Dad, you just said something that I'm very curious about is when the YouTube Shorts, when those viewers subscribe to your channel, they're not subscribing for long form content. They're subscribing for the short form content that you have put out, because I'm convinced the people who watch YouTube Shorts and the people who watch TikToks
Yeah.
are in different planets. Like, it is absolutely crazy. So what do you think about that, Morph, in terms of like building up your subscriber base with short form content to then hopefully get people to watch your longer form videos? Like how does that fall?
That's literally the strategy that I use on the second channel. Was using that. It was using the shorts as a marketing tool, basically, or advertising for my long form content.
Nice.
And it worked. I'd be curious about starting a new channel to see if it still works, but it definitely is the way to go, because you don't really earn watch hours from shorts as you're trying to grow, not easily.
Not in the way that you would with long form, for sure.
Right. But yeah, so I think using shorts to advertise for your channel and just get that quick hit of subscribers is easier. Because if you think about it, when you're watching anything on TikTok, and you like your video well enough, you might probably just hit follow because. But if you're looking at long form content, it's like they really have to earn your follow.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know why that's so. It's like, fine, like we throw some shorts out there, click it, like it. All right, I got my 1,000 subs, and now we can work on the other part.
Yeah, and I think okay, so what you just mentioned was fantastic. Getting the 1,000 subs on YouTube is the beginning of the process. Like it's the exact same thing, more or less. And I equate this to, once you get affiliate on Twitch, that's when things start moving for you. There's no like, everything that happens before getting 1,000 subs on YouTube or getting affiliate on Twitch, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it is completely irrelevant because you are working towards a goal. Now you have your audience. Once you get to those two things, then you can start creating what your page is going to be because you now have an audience that wants to see you. So I think I love what you just said about that because it resonates so well with like doing the work and then having to get the prize, but the prize is actually more work. Like that's
yeah. I feel
ridiculous.
like there's a you know, people talk about the Twitch affiliate, and I know Smash talked about this extensively. The Twitch affiliate being easy to obtain, right? 100% it is. You know, you could get just a couple family members in there, right? Get to 50 followers through various Discord servers. You can get Twitch affiliate pretty quickly. But to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, it's incredibly hard. It takes a long time for you to get that because one, you know, we you know, looking at our videos right now on YouTube, we have several videos that are for our podcast that are reaching 6,000, 7,000 views, and we're getting some, you know, subscribers, right? It's not as though we're not getting subscribers. We're getting, you know, on average 10 to 15, sometimes 20 subs a day. But for those views, you'd imagine there'd be more subs, right? But generating 20 subs a day is still very impressive for a YouTube channel. Yeah. We're at 100 subs right now, right? So that, just imagine the type of grind it takes to get to 1,000 subs. And I think, you know, that once again, it's so easy to make Twitch affiliate, you know, and people get that sense of satisfaction, which, don't get me wrong, you should feel satisfied. Hey, you know what, now I can monetize my channel. But make no mistake about it, like especially for Twitch, you're at the beginning stages of still trying to figure things out and still trying to grow. At least I feel like with YouTube at 1,000 subs, you've kind of learned some stuff, and you're not a master by any means, but you've learned some things and you figured out some things versus hitting that, you know, that 3 viewer mark and that 50 subs on Twitch.
Yeah. And I think also, and Morph, you might agree with me, there is a different breed of streamer that can be successful on YouTube, that has the work ethic to build the base and do the videos and learn the editing and get to that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. Because when you get to that, you know, that affiliate on Twitch, I'm just gonna say it's not hard. It's not hard to do. The people who have not gotten affiliate yet, like, just do it. Like, you know, just get affiliate. It's not a big deal. But getting that 1,000 on YouTube is absolutely, like, it's a different breed of person that has the discipline and the wherewithal and the understanding on how to do that. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know, because I've done it. I'm halfway there. Okay, I'm halfway there, but I'm in the process. So, you know, it's just, I love it. I love the whole aspect of the grind and trying to get that, because once you get there, it's like, that's where your freaking journey starts, man. And you've done it multiple times, Morph. You've done it multiple times.
Before I say that, before I get into that, I want to give you one soundbite you can use. If you've been on Twitch for like 3 months and you're streaming consistently and you haven't get affiliate yet, just stop.
Yeah. No, yeah. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna chime in there. Because I firmly believe, like, I mean, I reached Twitch affiliate in 3 weeks, which isn't anything like crazy impressive. There's been people that to reach, you know, Twitch affiliate sooner than that, but 100%. I mean, it's not very hard to reach Twitch affiliate. There's plenty of Discord servers, and that is the wrong way to go about it. But at the end of the line, if you're desperate for, you know, reaching Twitch affiliate, there are plenty of Discord servers to go out there that you can join that are all about making people Twitch affiliates. And, you know, like I said, I don't agree with them, but if you're desperate, if you've been grinding for a month or two, join those Discord servers. But yeah, I'm with Morph. I mean, if you've been streaming for 3 months and you haven't hit you know, Twitch affiliate yet, it may be time to move on, unless you generally just enjoy it and you're like, hey, you know what, I don't really care too much about it. I got it. Continue to do you. Yeah, this literally doesn't apply to you, right? But if you're really trying to grind towards it and you're still struggling, you know, it might be time to look somewhere else.
Right.
Now, Morph. So sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, so you were talking about the 1,000 subs versus whatever. That absolutely is the first thing that I was looking at, was the subs, because the 4,000 hours has to be in a year, right? So I'm like, let me worry about the subs first, and then I'll work grinding for the hours. So I used any means possible for the subs. Like I pumped out so much content. I did some advertising to get people to look at the content, anything I could to get some eyes on there. Yeah. So people would eventually want to sub. And then once I got close to that, but are trying to grind for the hours. And one of the best ways people can get hours is streaming. Streaming hours
Oh
count
yeah, dude.
towards your 4,000 hours. So
Yeah, and dude, the crazy thing about YouTube now is like they are they are making it I don't want to say easier. Easier is the wrong word, but they are making it more attainable for you to get your hours by giving you every single tool possibly available. You have
yeah.
long form content, you have short form content, you have streams, you have
Yep.
a ton of different avenues to where you can get eyes on you. It's just and dad and I were talking about this earlier today. It's just it seems like a no-brainer end game for like everybody eventually at some point to be on YouTube because they're making it more and more irresistible. But going back to the short form versus long form content, this is interesting to me because TikTok has decided that long form content is 10 minutes. That's what
Yep.
TikTok has decided. But YouTube, long form content is really anything on YouTube over a minute long.
Yes.
Right? Like, and Dad, you were talking about this too. You have to cut down clips that are like a minute and 4 seconds to
Yeah,
get them in the
it
short
sucks.
format. Dude, okay. You feel so dumb when you upload a short and it comes out as
Yep.
a video
Oh my
and you
God.
got a bunch of like black screen on the side and you look not
Oh,
professional at all. It's the most
I,
ridiculous
I
thing
did
ever.
that a couple weeks ago. This was an example. It was a minute and 2 or 3 seconds. I think it was a gameplay clip, and I didn't realize that it was a minute and 2 seconds. I uploaded it and I checked my views. Like a couple hours later, I was like, I got 2 views. Like this is terrible for a short. Like most of my shorts
yeah.
get 5, 6, 7,000 views, and I was like, what is this? And then finally I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is a regular video. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that do you think TikTok, because TikTok is now the number one search engine for like the generation behind me, whatever Gen Z or whatever it may be. Do you think
Children.
that the chillins? Do you think that TikTok will ever be that YouTube kind of SEO platform for searching for long form content? In my opinion, no, because they've branded themselves for so long as short form content city. Like that's just what they are. I don't know one person in any of the streaming space or any streamers that I know who is searching for 10-minute videos on TikTok. I just don't. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it'll change? Do you think it's going to, kind of fizzle out and everyone will still be using short form? Like, what are your thoughts, man?
No, I just can't see it happening.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is still, in my mind, in a lot of people's minds, the de facto place where you're looking for stuff. If I want a how-to video, right?
Yep.
I'm not looking on TikTok
Yeah.
because while you can go up to 10 minutes, most people aren't uploading 10-minute videos. And if I want to know how to do something, it can't be 60 seconds. Yes, I create 60-second tutorials because I try to squeeze it into that time because I know they won't watch longer than that. But if I want to learn something, TikTok is the last place I'm going to look for.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
especially with like the format of TikTok, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's nice that it's on your phone, but you're talking about it's really shrunk down, right? And
Yeah.
I've said this before, like if you watch a tutorial video, please like that tutorial video, and if you like the person giving it, subscribe to them because it is incredibly hard to make tutorial videos. But on TikTok, your screen is small. Versus obviously YouTube, it's larger. And even on your phone, you could flip your phone sideways, and it's the full 16:9 format, and so you have the entire video. And up to a certain point, I guess you can do that on TikTok. You can kind of like rotate it or whatever, right? But everybody kind of knows TikTok to be the 9:16 format, very small.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, yeah, your tutorials, it's or the search engine that TikTok wants to be or maybe is aiming to be. I don't think they're going to overtake YouTube. YouTube is still going to be king for tutorials and those sort of things. But I'm with Morph. Like I try to, if I make a tutorial, I generally want to try to make it 60 seconds and under, because once again, if it's not something that's really interesting past the 60 seconds, for some reason, like I'm kind of going on a rant here with TikTok, but for some reason I feel like people on TikTok, you're just getting to this mindset of like, you're scrolling, you know what I'm saying? You just want to continue to scroll. And as soon the millisecond that somebody loses interest in whatever your content is, you're gone. You lost them, and they might have given you a like, but we know that watch time is what drives your content through these algorithms to generate your watch time. That's where you need to make that really good and engaging content to keep people watching your content, to drive your content through the algorithm.
Right. I actually try to keep tutorials have to be about 60 seconds. I can't explain anything in less than 30 seconds at the very minimum, but I try to go 10 to 15 seconds tops for most TikToks, because like you said, they'll watch your hook, and then if they're not interested, they're probably going to leave. It's like, you can't even watch an 8-second.
Yeah.
Like, how important is your day? You can't watch 8 seconds of me saying something.
Well, I think also too, what we need to realize, so dude, there's so freaking much here. What we need to realize is that people, when they're scrolling on TikTok and they come across your video, any video, not just like you, but like anyone listening to this or whatever, people who are scrolling on TikTok are looking for any reason to scroll. They're looking for any reason to scroll. And the second you give them that reason, they're gone. That's just how it goes. And that's why, like, I am convinced, even short form content like TikTok, which let's say it's a minute. I would even argue further, short form content on TikTok is 20 to 30 seconds, and long form content on TikTok is a minute. I really don't think you can
100%.
get any more detailed than that, because like you said, anything after a minute, I feel like I'm listening to a stream in the background. Like it doesn't compute with the TikTok audience. Whereas like if I'm going to go to YouTube, I will listen to a 25-minute video if it's something that interests me, and it will be on in the background while I'm doing something else. But if you're just scrolling short form content, and you have to stay literally engaged the entire time, which is why it's so important to have all the different aspects of your video, your hook. It's almost like writing a paragraph for like a middle school paper. A great introduction, a great body, and a great conclusion. Like you have to have all those different things, or people are just going to scroll the second that you give them the opportunity to. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents. I think, it just makes sense, and it sucks, but it makes sense.
It does. TikTok has bred people to just be searching for that serotonin hit. And if you do not get it like that, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And the YouTube portion, people are searching for a particular, you have really two options. You have either A, tutorial videos where, you're teaching somebody and somebody's going to actually search for that, right? Or B, the game clips kind of stuff, right? Like the Tim the Tatman kind of stuff. Tim the Tatman doesn't talk about streaming tips. He doesn't talk about tutorial, nothing. All of his content is just him playing games and having a good time. Obviously, he's built an incredible brand around that, right? But you have that second portion where I think a lot of people are aiming towards. And so that's kind of where people need to really hone their skills if that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to create long form content in terms of the game clips, or they're summarizing the game, whatever, right? This game I dropped 20 kills, whatever, right? That's where they need to hone their skills. I want to talk about two topics. One, I want to talk about the grind of short form content versus long form content. And I'm kind of curious what Morph's thoughts on it, because I definitely have some thoughts on it. So what's your, in terms of the grinding and creating short form versus long form content?
Short form content for me is like, I like to put as much thought into it as I do a tweet. Like it's got to be something, just a quick thought that I want to get out there that's going to take me less than 30 seconds to just throw out there. I don't anymore put time into a TikTok, like in terms of the quality.
Bro, we differ from opinions so badly on here, and you know it. I'm so excited to clap back, bro. I'm so stoked.
But long form content for me, I love it, because I like the editing process, but like I like to talk. So I have ideas about a topic and I want to just throw everything I have at it. So I love doing long form content. But I'm cognizant when I'm doing long form content, when I'm saying anything, even right now when I'm talking, I try to like restrict what I'm saying to like a sound bite, so I can clip it later.
Yeah, 100%.
Even on my long forms,
Yeah. Dude, I think so. This is, and we've kind of like poked fun at each other about this before, Morph, but like I have just recently kind of not rebranded my TikToks, but I put a ton of effort into my TikToks. Like, so like And part of that is because I want to get faster at video editing. So I'm making a ton of TikToks. So I want to be able to edit faster. It's like a double-edged sword. The problem is now instead of sitting and looking at my phone and recording 19 TikToks, I can maybe record 6 when I'm running everything to DaVinci Resolve and adding B-roll and all this kind of stuff for a TikTok. Now, it does get me more views having a more what I'll call higher quality TikTok video. But at the end of the day, the majority of people are seeing 4 seconds of my video and scrolling on. So it's like
Yes.
it can be a double-edged sword. And then with the long form content, I love video editing. So like I will sit there and I will edit a 6 to 10 minute YouTube video and I will love the process. It's great. It's fun. I don't mind the sound of my own voice. A lot of people like really don't enjoy that, but like I can just listen to myself and edit myself and all that kind of stuff. So it's just you can make short form content as minimal as you want to, but I feel like with long form content, there's a bar. There's a bar that you have to meet. And if you don't meet it, especially it's very evident on YouTube. The people who've been doing it for a long time and the people who are just getting into it, there's a bar that you're constantly against. Whereas in TikTok, you can just throw up your phone, press a button, record a 10-second video, and then put it out, and you're done. So
yeah, I'm I kind of contrary with Morph on this, only because like I'm a perfectionist, right? And I remember Morph Morph commented on one of my TikToks when I first started using B-roll footage, and he was like, "B-roll footage in a short form," and but you know I really strive to create, high quality TikTok content. And I'm not saying that's the right answer because, you know, while most of my videos that I do, particularly like the blunt truth and I'm, editing and it's filmed really nicely, they do really well. I'm limited on the number of videos that I can actually produce, right? Because I just can't sit down and film enough videos. Like this hair doesn't make itself, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta like make sure my hair is on point.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So, but like I really do. I love it and I hate it because when I film those kind of videos, like I want to make it, come across as professional as possible. But I know, people probably notice I only drop maybe 1 or 2 videos of those a week because they take so much time versus Morph's method, right? I'm just going to bust out my phone and I'm going to prop it up and I'm going to talk. And he's getting, the same amount of views, if not more views than we are. Right. And then sure, some videos, maybe not, they don't do as well. Right. But that's being able to produce that 3 to 5 TikToks a day on, Morph's TikTok account to be able to get to 24,000 followers that he's at right now and getting just, like I said, just views and engagement on his videos versus me dropping, 1 video, maybe 2 videos a week of really high quality, high edited content. And that's, once again, that's just me being a perfectionist. If I can pump out more content, I would, but once, like I said, I can't bring myself to like, bust out my phone and film it just because I'm like, I can't, once again, I'm kind of perfectionist with that. So, I'm envious of people just being able to bust out their phones. The same with the tutorials. A lot of people do tutorials on their phones. They turn their phone around and they're like showing the monitor. I'm like, I cringe at that. I'm like, I need to record. I need to record it in OBS, and I need to edit it. I need to do zooms, and I make it look nice. And I'm like, I can't do that stuff. But you've had a lot of success with those videos, right?
Yeah, so when I started on TikTok, I did exactly what you're doing, and it got no traction. And I'm like, screw this, I'm just gonna do it. I would watch those same videos, tutorials where people are like going all around the screen with the phone. I'm like, oh my god, please stop! Like screen capture this and then put, And I started doing it because nobody was watching. The value wasn't there for my time and what I was getting out of it, and what turned me on to start doing it was watching Mama Tamago's videos. She does so well with that style. I'm like, well, if it's working for her, shoot, I'm going to do it too. And I make them. Like I did my first video for a new company that I'm partnering with yesterday. And obviously, what's your first one to be a big deal? I did it in 3 minutes. And because I'm just like,
I would have taken 3 hours.
Excuse me, Morph. We need to see you in the office, please.
I know, right? So, and I watched it back, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna hate this. But it's a style that I know people watch because TikTok to me is very casual. right?
100%.
And
Yep.
but there's nothing wrong with what you guys are doing. I think it looks fantastic, right?
Thank you.
I just don't think a lot of the audience on TikTok appreciates the effort.
Oh,
that goes into
you're
it.
absolutely right.
Pastorgainz, they're looking at 4 seconds of it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And that's where I think I really liked what you said about TikTok being a tweet, because if you have a content creation machine, and we're going to talk about this in a separate episode, but I'm a big believer in, like, you have to get all these gears and cogs into your machine that make the content creation machine go. What is TikTok for in your machine? It's not driving your machine, because it's not long form content. People don't really get to know you. People don't get to, experience a big chunk of what you are in like 30 seconds. TikTok is little snippets of yourself to sell to people so that they will buy who you are as a person and as a brand. Like, you just have to look at what your short form content is versus what your long form content is. And once you can figure out where they go in your machine, I think things are going to start to run so smooth. Dude, that was such a good audio clip right there. I'm so freaking smart sometimes. It's unbelievable.
It's funny. As we're talking, there's a few things I've said. I'm like, when we're done, I'm going to shoot a 7-second TikTok on the thing I just said. That's how it is. Like, when I went on, before I went on the podcast before this show, I was waiting like 10 minutes for them to get ready. I shot 4 TikToks.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's really a video tweet to me at this point.
No, you're 100%. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You talked about, it being a casual platform, and I think you're right. I mean, it started TikTok. We all know TikTok kind of started with that dancing app, right? And so I think everybody's kind of just they have a different mindset when they go from watching. In my opinion, they have a different mindset from watching TikTok to going to watch YouTube. I can't film a tutorial on YouTube and it's going to do well. People are going to be like, what is this garbage? I'm going to go watch somebody else who spent time in editing and, screen capturing, right, and doing an intro and outro, whatever, right? Versus, 100%, you're right, TikTok, I could literally, you just take your phone out and film something, and as long as it's, good, engaging, you're talking clearly, it's going to get views because, Mama Tot, you're exactly right. I follow Mama Tot. Her videos get thousands of views, and she just has her phone out and she's just, like this. So I think you're right.
Intimate and like personal thing with her brands too, because like you said, Morph, her for that. She's the only one that I feel, and Morph, you too, I'm not going to exclude you, but she's like, in her type of niche and what she does, she's the only one that I feel literally just nails that form of content with just looking at the phone, being very engaging, like whatever. And I'm like, first off, teach me everything you know. And then second off, it's just impressive. Like, it's just a very, very impressive thing.
I got a follow-up question. So there's a big difference between short-form content and long-form content in terms of grinding and how you present it. And that's the thumbnail on YouTube Shorts. Or I'm not on YouTube Shorts, just on YouTube in general.
Yep.
How long are you guys spending, particularly on you, Morph? How long did you spend, are you spending on your thumbnails?
Thumbnails have always been a problem with me because I hate taking the photo. Like,
it's so awkward. It is so awkward.
I was shooting it one day and my wife walked in and she's just laughing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I hate doing it. So I tended to go to like Canva and grab like a stock image of someone else and put it into my thumbnails because I hated doing it so much. I hated doing it. Like, if you look at some of my older older YouTube thumbnails, it's never me. It's never me in the thumbnail.
That is the funniest thing in the world, dude. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch this video of this person. Who's this guy? Who is
this isn't even the same person in the thumbnail.
Right.
Dude, but I'm with you. I'm with you 100% because right now I'm paying for my thumbnails. I am not making all my thumbnails. So the reason I'm doing that is because I know my threshold for creativity when it comes to Canva. I don't have Photoshop, anything like that. So like the videos that I feel like I really want to do well and the videos I work the longest on, I pay to have a thumbnail made because thumbnails and titles are the most important part of your YouTube video because that's 100%. The only part that people are seeing before they click on the video. If you don't have a good title and you don't have a good thumbnail, you're not even going to get a click. So it's like, I've made some on Canva where I'm like, oh man, I'm so good at this. And then I've made others on Canva where I'm like, I am going to not stream anymore ever again. Like, it's just, it's hit or miss, man.
Yeah, I have that like content creation show program called The Show, right?
Yeah,
And I have like
yeah.
15 episodes that I've dumped onto YouTube. They're not edited yet, but I made thumbnails. I found one picture of me that I liked. So I use that same picture with a different colored background for all 15 episodes. I'm like, screw it.
No,
That's great.
I have not done so for our podcast. You know, as we're building it out and we're making the logo and all this stuff, right? And I was like, hey, Pastorgainz, what do you want to do for the thumbnail, right? And he's just like, dude, I don't really want to take pictures every time, like it's a lot of work. So literally we just came up with a template, and on Canva. By the way, canva.com, amazing. If you're not using canva.com, we'll talk about this another time. Amazing. But he's with Canva, and now we just have
Canva, please.
Yeah. Let's talk Canva. But no, we just found a stock image, right? And we just gotta plug in the information because it is such a grind in itself trying to figure out. I'm with Pastorgainz. Like I feel like I have enough creativity, but for some reason it's just like that threshold of like I don't have enough of creativity to make a really good thumbnail. And I'm just gonna go to Canva, and I'm gonna steal Morph's idea. I'm just gonna find some random person and paste it on my paste it on there.
There you go.
Please do, bro.
I seen a clip the other day on TikTok, and it was from Mr. Beast. I mean, Mr. Beast is YouTube, and he talked about he said sometimes he spends up to $50,000 on his thumbnails because that is what matters between 50 million views and 100 million views is the thumbnail.
It absolutely is. So that's what I tell people. Like, there's those 3 T's that you have to get right: the tags, the thumbnail, and the title. Right.
Yep.
It's very visual. Everything obviously is very visual. So if you're scrolling down a list of looking down a list of videos on a topic after you search, you're looking for the most attractive thumbnail. Whether you realize it or not, you're picking out that one. I think it's like I use vidIQ. I think vidIQ does it.
Yeah.
Where if you type in your title, it shows you, okay, these are similar videos as yours. This is what their thumbnails look like.
Yes.
So I'll look at them like, all right, let me just make something I think looks better than that. It's such a, if you screw up your thumbnail, no matter how good your video is, no one's gonna click on it.
Yeah, and I think also, dude, this is the big threshold between short form and long form content is people think that they get really good on TikTok. And I thought about this a little bit too, was like, I got a really big following on TikTok really, really fast. YouTube will be similar. Bro, compared to YouTube, TikTok is so easy to grow on. It is so easy to grow on. Like YouTube, if you could be the best video editor in the world and making long form content and like crushing the game, if you have bad titles, thumbnails, and tags, nobody is seeing your editing. Like it's baffling to me. I'll call it a skill gap between TikTok and YouTube, and just the overall understanding of a platform, because each platform has different things that it wants from you, right? Like TikTok has the TikTok algorithm, Instagram Reels is a burning fire pit, and then YouTube is all these other things that no one is thinking of. So it's like you got to get good before you can actually do YouTube. It's weird, man. It's super weird.
It's funny, there's, as content creators, and who stream, there's you have streams, you have long form, you have short form, and the skill set and the knowledge required for each one of them is different. They all seem related, but it's different. How you have to approach each one of those 3, 100% completely different.
It is. I could pump out. I tell people. I mean, I've gotten pretty good with Adobe Premiere now, but a year ago it took me a little bit of time to edit. But honestly, now I could pump out a clip from my stream. Whatever. Like I play Warzone. Everybody knows that. I could pump out a Warzone clip. Honestly, in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I can clip it, or I can pump it out and put it on social media. But once again, creating that pre-recorded content, whatever, blunt truth, right? Whatever you want to talk about. All that stuff, it's a different beast, like one, I am very self-conscious of myself, like in terms of my voice. So I'm like, I hate how I sound, and so I'll go back and re-record it or whatever, but you're right, Morph. I mean, you're talking about live, all your live stuff. That's easy. That was it already happened. You just need to go through your clips, and hopefully you got a clip it button. You just need to go through, and you're like, all right, cool. Like I just need to edit this up, chop this up, boom, good to go. It took me 10 minutes, now I'm good to go. versus the pre-recorded stuff. Once again, it's self-analyzing. I'm like sitting there staring at myself. I'm like, oh, I gotta whatever. This is going on. I hate my voice, and that's where you just gotta kind of accept yourself and move on. But it's definitely a different skill set, for each one, and being able to really evolve from creating these gameplay clips to now transitioning to you creating pre-recorded content for your long form content, and be able to produce good long form content to keep it engaging.
In fact, Dad the Gamer, I've actually been telling everybody over the last month or so that the new standard in how you create a game clip is how you do it, because you set it up before you actually show it, so there's context.
Yeah,
and it is so it's quick. It's a quick hook, but it's so brilliant because, like, how many clips do you see where it just you jump in, you're like, wait, what's going on? What are they doing? What am I looking for?
Sure,
and then it's over. Like, what? But I love the way you do it. So that's what I've been telling everybody to do.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. I think it's the hook, right? I mean, we've talked about it, so much, but I mean, you have to be able to, that first 3 to 5 seconds is so important in whatever your content is. It doesn't matter if it's pre-recorded or your gameplay clips. That first 3 to 5 seconds is the most crucial part in for short form content to be able to capture your viewers. So I'm always self-analyzing, everything. I upload something and I'm like, oh, I guess that didn't go well. I'll change that, And I recently changed my gameplay clips up a little bit in terms of the intro. But I appreciate that, man.
Dude, and also, like, and I was talking about this, and I've told you about this, and we've kind of gone back and forth between, like, I'm not a huge fan of dumping gameplay clips up on TikTok. It's just, for the reason of it doesn't work for me. Like, if it worked for me, I'd be like, yo, game clips are sick. Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
But what I have said about game clips is, if you're going to upload a game clip, make it better than everyone else's. And Dad, you have found a formula that does that, which is the context, which is the hook. If you get them in the hook, they'll watch the entire game clip. So, like, your hook is so good that it gets them to watch another 10 to 15 seconds of the video. So I applaud you, man. That's a dope thing to do. And that's a hard thing to do with gameplay clips, because a lot of times, like Morph said, they're jarring. It's like, oh my God, like what's going on? You need context. You don't know what game it is. Like, especially if you don't know what the game is, you're like, what is happening here? And then you just scroll on. So
it's tough. And far from perfect. I mean, I started for my gameplay clips. I've done the dumbass plays by an average Warzone player. Those ones take a little bit longer to edit. Those ones, those typically will do pretty well for me in terms of views. So I mean, I usually once a week will push those out, but those ones take a little bit more editing. I'll typically take about an hour to edit those. But once again, I mean, I would much rather upload that one video that is very well edited for my gameplay clip, because TikTok is so full of gameplay clips. You could just scroll through, I would much rather upload that one single gameplay clip that's well edited, tells a good story, then get a bunch of clips from Twitch and upload them, because I guarantee you I would probably cap at 100 to 200 views on those other on just clip dumping. And I'm not going to be able to gain any kind of audience or anybody really getting any engagement from it, because it's just, it's unedited. It's just a raw clip. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do with their gameplay clips, is they just dump them and they're not editing them. And, they're throwing their hands up like, I'm not getting any kind of views on my gameplay clips. And it's like, well, this is the short form content that you want to take with it. Put some time, put some effort in. Even if you go from uploading, 1 or 3 a day to 1 a day, just take some time and edit it to tell a good story.
Right, because like Pastorgainz, you said it earlier. Like, if you want to have a successful, be unsuccessful in TikTok, you have to have a hook, right?
Yeah.
So when you're just creating a gameplay clip and just uploading it straight up without doing what Dad the Gamer does, you're not adding a hook. So it's not interesting to anyone watching. Like, how long do I have to watch this for the funny or cool thing to happen? So they're like, nah, forget it.
So last question for Morph. I want your kind of take on this, but a lot of content creators, particularly new streamers who are really trying to, transition to take it more serious, they tend to, take on the long form content when they haven't produced a lot of or enough of the short form content to grow out their TikTok or, whatever short form content that they're on. What's your thoughts? What should people do? Or what should people's goal be to be able to transition to long form content from short form content?
Yeah, so I think when people are making exclusively short form content, it's just like quick little sound bites or whatever. Um, you, if you've never created long form, you really have to have a strategy behind what kind of long form content are you going to make.
Yep.
Maybe you figured out the secret to get people to watch your short form, but that is not going to translate directly into your long form. Like there has to be something else that goes with it. You can't just string together a bunch of your game clips into your long form and think anyone's really going to care enough to watch it back, because your audience on YouTube is different than the audience on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
So, gameplay clips probably will work well for you on TikTok. On YouTube, you need to make like something walking through a build of your character, or talking about what the new DLC does or something like that. It's not the same thing, but you can bridge them over. And I think it could be a smart way. Hey, you like my clips? You like all these clips of like how I'm making all these cool headshots? Go watch my build video on how I made this character on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think definitely if you can draw a string through your content to keep people
Yeah.
engaged and to keep like if you have a TikTok that's like Twitch tips like I do, but then you
Yeah.
have a YouTube that has nothing to do with Twitch tips or like helping people
Yeah.
stream better or whatever it may be, and it's like Splatoon gameplay. Bro, what are you talking about? Like there's no line between your content to keep people
Yes.
engaged across platforms. And when you do it effectively, you become a brand because you
Yep.
have your Twitter going with just your thoughts, you have your TikTok with, let's say, your headshots or whatever you're doing, you have the build videos on your YouTube video,
Yeah.
and then, your stream is just the longest form of that content put in live action. So,
Yeah.
if you can do all of that well, you become a brand, and then you kind of ascend above the rest of people who are just streaming.
And that point is exactly what I have been trying to tell people for 2 years. Do not regurgitate your content across platforms, because there's no reason for someone to follow you on IG if it's the same crap that you're putting on Hover and TikTok. There,
Mhm.
each platform has a strength that is different slightly from the other platforms. Like you just said, play to that strength and give people a reason to go follow you across the platforms.
Yeah, and if you can do that, that's ultimately the win, because that gets people plugged into you on every app on their phone, and that
Right.
means you're not only constantly on a For You page, but you're constantly on their phone in general, which is, I mean, that's
Right.
just a win. That's
And
what you
then
wanna be
and
as a
then
content
when
creator.
people open up Twitch and they go, hey, who do I want to watch? Oh, hey, you know what? I've seen MoorphGames. I've seen his 5 TikToks that he dropped today. Oh, and he dropped a YouTube video 3 days ago. I watched the YouTube video. Like, and now who am I gonna go watch? Am I gonna watch some random person who's producing no content? Or am I going to go watch this person who, is producing good content, and I've seen their face quite a bit. Now I'm going to go watch this person because I love their content.
So Morph, at the end of the episode here, where let me just say or ask you, where can people find you, bro? If they want to come find MoorphGames, where are you at? What are you doing? Is there anything you want to promote here at the very end of the channel? It's up to you. Floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me across all various socials. You can find me on Twitter, Morphine1, on TikTok, Morphine, and YouTube. It's just youtube.com/morph, and of course Twitch. Twitch.tv/morphgame. I really wish I had the same name across all the platforms, but I don't. Yeah.
Dude,
So
it's super
yeah,
cool if you do.
I try to help streamers and content creators get better at what they do, and that's my niche across all of the platforms. So if you are a streamer or content creator and you need some help, just come find me.
Love it. We'll have all your stuff linked down in the description of this YouTube video as well, and we'll have all your links everywhere on all of our social media platforms and that sort of thing when this comes out. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode of The Live Button. We appreciate it a ton. We are going to be back next week, Monday morning, so stay tuned for that episode. Morph, absolutely fantastic having you on here. Dad, also just amazing co-host per usual, dude. Just perfection in every way. So,
Hey,
guys,
killing
thank you once again. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you later, guys.
See ya.